Welcome back, it's Seth here. We as humans fall for so many products and services thinking that they're necessary or that we just really need them. However, at the end of the day, these decisions end up being nothing but a waste of money. If you've already made some of these mistakes that we're going to talk about in this video, don't worry, you're not dumb. But understanding why these are a mistake for the future is important to ensure that your money goes a long way. However, before I dive deeper into these 5 bad money mistakes that you may be making, please remember to hit the like button down below, and if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe to help grow our channel. Now that you hit the like button, let's dive in. Now, starting off, the first money move that I would say is a waste is buying extended warranties. I totally understand the concept of extended warranties. It gives you a peace of mind knowing that if anything goes wrong in the future, you're covered. No money will come out of your pocket as you've already paid for this warranty, and it will take care of any issues that may arise. But the truth is that most items that do give you some sort of warranty, such as electronics, you probably most likely won't even need to use that warranty. And that is because more than likely a new gadget will be released that is going to be better than what you have, making your item obsolete. And for cars, most extended warranties don't even end up being used, as the cars that are made today are so much more reliable than they ever been in the past. In fact, it's reported that 47% of individuals that do purchase extended warranties on vehicles, of those, only 1 in 10 end up using the service contract. Rather than buying extended warranty, most car owners prefer to set up a fund for big car repairs. And I personally do agree with this. I would have a fund for either repairs or replacement, as these extended warranties are probably not going to get used. So at the end of the day, you're just wasting your money. Now moving on to the second money move that I personally think is a waste, and that is leasing a car. This is a topic that I personally have argued quite a bit with my own friends. It is really easy to think that getting a lower payment in a brand new car every few years sounds like a great idea. But the truth is that it's not ideal for most individuals to lease a vehicle. And this is because most individuals will end up going over the mileage cap that is provided you on these lease agreements. For lease vehicles, you can only drive the car for a certain amount of kilometers each year. For most, this is on an average of 16,000 kilometers all the way up to 24,000 kilometers. And if you go over the capped amount, you'll be hit with high fees on each single kilometer that you have gone over. So if you're someone who would like to travel across the country in your car, a leased vehicle is definitely not for you. Also, wear and tear costs are hidden fees that you may be on the hook for when you return your vehicle. So after all these lease payments and hidden fees, you still don't own the car. And now you're going to repeat the process with another leased vehicle. So in my opinion, it is better to go off and buy a used car that's about 5 years or older. So this way you miss majority of the depreciation, as the first owner would take that, and you won't lose a lot of money in depreciation in the long run. Also, when you do buy a used car, make sure that it's a reliable car. So this way you can avoid a lot of headaches with repair and maintenance. And the best part of owning your own car is that you don't have to worry about the mileage limit at all. Now moving on to the third money move that I would say is a waste, and that is buy now and pay later deals. Mentally, these buy now and pay later deals make things seem a lot more affordable than they actually are, as you don't have to pay for things up front, you just have to pay them in small amounts over a period of time. For an example, if you see an item for $200, there may be some resistance and you may think, oh, that's too expensive. However, now if it says that you just have to make 4 payments of $50 to purchase this item, all of a sudden, this item just got significantly cheaper and it seems way more affordable. So this marketing makes people buy things that they may normally never would. And over time with interest, when you do make these payments, you'll end up paying way more for the item than you would have if you just bought it up front. Honestly, this has gotten so bad that Klarna now allows you to buy meals now on DoorDash and pay later. And if I'm being very honest with you, if you cannot pay for your food up front, you probably cannot afford to go eat out. So please just make your lunch and dinner at home. The truth is that you may think that you can afford one item by buying them on installments of 4 payments. However, it usually never stops at one item. You end up buying one item and the second item, the third and the fourth on this buy now and pay later scheme. And if you do miss any of these payments, you'll be hit with late fees and penalties. So to avoid this, only buy things that you can afford up front. If you cannot afford that $1,600 TV, don't buy it. Just buy the cheaper option, and trust me, you'll save yourself a lot of regret and headache down the road. Now, the fourth money move that I would say is a waste is paying off your mortgage early without investing. So I personally do see this a lot where couples will come together and focus on paying down their mortgage as fast as possible, but put almost nothing towards investing. And I do understand that carrying on debt isn't fun. And to you, if you pay off this mortgage earlier, that means you're going to have more cash flow to enjoy your life later. However, this is where the issues start. By paying down your mortgage earlier and not investing, you're actually jeopardizing your retirement. That is because there's a very good chance when you do retire, you're not going to have the same level of cash flow that you have now once you have retired and left the workforce. And by not having investments, you're cutting yourself off from having the life that you dreamed of when you were going to retire. The problem is that most individuals view their primary home as an investment, as it goes up in value over time. This only makes sense if you were to sell the property. But if you're living in the property, that house is more of a liability than an actual asset. And if you're wondering, how is it a liability? Well, you're on the hook for property taxes, utilities, and any repairs and maintenance. You are actually spending your own money to take care of the house, and there's no actual cash flow coming in to take care of these expenses. So technically, this would make your house a liability rather than an asset. Another thing that most of these individuals that are focused on paying down their property don't realize is that their interest rate on their mortgage is probably anywhere from 3 to 5%. Whereas the stock market, especially the S&P 500 index, has provided an average return of 10%. So you're almost leaving out anywhere from 5 to 7% growth of your money by not investing. Also, another thing that these individuals don't realize is that inflation actually works in your favor. Over time, inflation makes your fixed mortgage payment cheaper in real terms. If your income rises and your mortgage stays the same, it becomes easier to handle your mortgage payments. But if you pay off your mortgage early, you miss out on this benefit. So if you're just focused on paying down your mortgage and not investing, I would say hold your horses. You may want to reevaluate your plan to make sure that you have a solid future when you do retire. Now, for the fifth and last money move that I would say is a waste is using your house's value for non-valuable things. This honestly drives me crazy when I see individuals use their home value, such as like cash out refinance, home equity line, or HELOC to buy things that have no value. If you refinance your home to reduce the years of mortgage left, that's totally fine. If you refinance your home to get a lower interest rate, that's also fine. And I would say if you refinance your home or use a HELOC to purchase an investment property, that's also fine, even though that may be risky for most individuals. However, I know a lot of individuals that will either refinance their home or take these home equity lines and go renovate their kitchen, pay off their credit card debt, or just go on a lavish vacation. You will be shocked to realize how many people actually do this. In my opinion, this is probably the worst thing you can do. You're putting your whole house at risk in case if there's any default. So what you can be doing is possibly making sure that your mortgage gets paid down a bit quicker. And you can do that quite easily by just making sure that you make one additional mortgage payment towards your equity each year. For an example, let's say you have a monthly mortgage of $2,147. If you just make this one additional monthly payment just towards your equity, you can reduce your payback period from 30 years down to just a bit over 25 years, meaning you can almost pay off your mortgage 5 years sooner. Also, by making this one additional equity payment, you can save over $65,000 in interest that you would have paid to the bank. So the bottom line here is, do not abuse your equity that you built out in your house for useless things. I hope you guys enjoy this video and you guys took away something from this. Even if you made any of these money move mistakes, now moving forward, you know not to make them. So if you guys truly enjoyed this video, please stay tuned for future videos. And until next time, remember to keep investing.